Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, ignore my crazy hair and all my blemishes, but I wanted to get a video out just showing me getting ready using some of the new makeup I have been purchasing lately. Now it's getting to the point where I'm purchasing too much that I'm not showcasing like those items or not introducing them to y'all. So I need to pick up my slack and start doing more YouTube videos using these makeup. So for today's video, I'm really not going anywhere. Just gonna get ready. So the first two items that I'm going to use are just items that y'all have seen me use before, or if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, might be new to you. But I'm gonna be using the Smashbox Water and the Versali Skin Tone Blur Primer. I love using these two items together because I feel like this is the perfect cocktail that starts off with a good solid base on my textured, blemishes, oily face. And now for the new foundation that I purchased. This is from the line Full Spectrum by Covergirl. So I really haven't done my research on how this company is, or if Covergirl is just going through a different line, but it basically has the same packaging as the Covergirl Elixir, Healthy Elixir Foundation, which I really like. But the only issue with this one is that it's not mattifying for me. This just gives me a really beautiful dewy look on my skin, which I would like if I just didn't have an extremely oily face. So with this foundation, it states that it's all day shine free foundation and matte. That's just basically it. I pick up the color FS210 medium golden. So I guess we'll see if, yeah, basically it looks like the same shade that I already have in the Healthy Elixir. So this is what I had done like 4 pumps actually. So this is what 4 pumps looks like. It does give out that matte feeling already, like it feels like it already dried, so that's pretty crazy. But you can still see my blemishes peeking through. They are red. You can still see, of course, actually you can still see like my skin through this foundation, so it's really not what doesn't state that it's full coverage. So I'm gonna do one more pump in just these little problem areas, seeing what it does. Alright, so the foundation does not look bad at all. It doesn't look cakey or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's caking up in those problematic areas. Since this foundation did state that it was matte, I thought it would like look dried up and cakey where the pimples are at, but it's not. So this could be a good thing and this could be a bad thing, because it's a good thing because of course it doesn't look cakey, but then it could be a bad thing because then that means it's not as matte as I would like it to be. Yeah, so for concealer, I'm going to just be using this mixture. I end up using, as always, my NYX concealer in C5 more as a color corrector and a brightener, and then I just use a regular concealer on top of it. I actually haven't purchased any new concealers, which I need to start trying out some new ones, because I just use the same, I feel like I use the same 2 ones all the time. I use this Urban Decay one, or I use my Tarte Shape Tape a lot, so I haven't really been purchasing a lot of those products lately. So if you have a good concealer for me to try out, definitely leave it down below in the comment section. And now I'm just going to use my regular concealer, which is, this is the Urban Decay waterproof concealer, and I have the color shade Medium Neutral. Alright, so that's how it looks. It looks completely different. I'm a completely different person. I look like I slept a good solid 8 hours. Now for my under eye translucent, is it translucent? No, translucent, well yeah, translucent light to medium powder I'm gonna be trying out is this new Milani. Nope, it just says absorbs oil and mattifies. So I should probably use this more as a setting powder for my face and for under my eyes, since it states it's mattifies. So I'm just gonna grab a big fluffy brush and I'm gonna set the rest of my face with this. All right, so let's take a look. So for first impression, it kind of looks like it wants to oxidize under the eyes, but then it kind of doesn't. So it really doesn't look bad actually. Besides just under the eyes, I probably won't use it anymore for under the eyes just because it states it was gonna mattify, and I think it's going to end up looking, which it kind of already is, a little bit cakey and a little bit dry. But hey, that was my fault. Alright, so for the powder, I give it a thumbs up for yes over the face, a thumbs down for no setting under the eye. Now for bronzer, I actually don't have a new overall bronzer that I have purchased recently. So I'm just gonna go in with my Lorac Pool Party Bronzer. Now with this, I just like to add a little bit of color to my face before I start on my eyes, just to give that little bit of dimension back to my face. So some of the new palettes that I've gotten this past couple weeks are the new Precision Formula Butter eyeshadow palettes. Now these things are pretty big. I thought they were actually going to be a little bit smaller, but I'm glad they are bigger because these were $16.99 at Ulta. And you know, it's a little pricey. $16.99 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 shades. And then, you know, there's a couple that have bigger pans than the other, but I'm not sure if they're all the same weight amount, so I guess we'll find out. But I really wanted to use this one because this green right here is really calling my name. And then of course it has that sunscreen scent as the other Precision Formula butter line products do, which I personally love. Now for eyeshadow primer, I don't have any new ones that I've purchased or anything like that, so I'm just going to be using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Eye Primer. So I think I'm going to end up using both of them together just because I feel like I want to use this green in this palette, but I want to use these brown shades right here. So let's try it out. The only thing that I don't like about it is that this palette does not have a mirror. That's the only thing that I don't like, because that means that you have to travel with another extra product. I mean, I'm pretty sure all the other products do have a mirror, so it's not really a big deal, but I'm a little picky. So for the first shade I'm going to pick up is this tan shade, which it's called Sand Dunes. This one right here. So I find that these palettes are very interesting. There's a mixture of warm tone and cool tone shades in both of them. So that's pigmented. Was not expecting that. Alright, so since I have a hooded eye, I do have to bring up the shade higher than usual. So I have to literally bring it up here, so that way my eye doesn't look closed out. So this color, this eyeshadow is blending out really beautifully, really easy. But again, they are really pigmented, so going with the light hand. I have a horrible habit of going in with a heavy hand every single time. So that's why I have to extra blend this out, because this was supposed to just be a wash of color on my crease. Alright, so now for the next shade, I'm going to go in with, it's with the actual green shade in the other palette. And this palette, well, let's start from the beginning. So the first one that I used, this one's called Tropical Days. And then this one's called Sultry Nights. And I'm going to be using the green one called Rainforest Queen, which is this one right here. And what I'm actually going to do is use the little doe foot applicator that it came with. Like when I try to pick it up with a doe foot applicator, it's just coming up into pieces. So let's see how this works out. Never mind, it worked out just fine. So this is really pretty. So there's no fallout under my eye whatsoever, which I was really scared of. Again, these shades are really pigmented. So you can't see the shade that much, so I'm just gonna pick it up a little bit more. See, now you can see it. Daily struggle of having hooded eyes. Just like that. So I'm just gonna pick up this shade right here called Heat Wave and put it in the outer corner just to add some of that orange shade to the outer corner. I don't know why I want to, but see, okay, I need to really stop doing that. This stuff is pigmented. So I'm just gonna mix both of those two together and just kind of add it to the top of the eye. And as you can tell, okay, I take that back. Now I am getting a little bit of fallout underneath here. So what I'm gonna do is just grab a loose setting powder. The reason, again, I don't like doing this is because, yes, it helps out with fallout, but it dries out my under eyes even more. That's why I like to, if I know an eyeshadow is going to have fallout, I'd rather do my eyeshadow first and then do my makeup. But if you don't have dry under eyes or textured or any of these problems, you can do this technique so that way you can remove the fallout easily from under your eyes. Alright, so now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye. Add the green and add that deep orange shade. Alright, so my camera kind of died, sorry. But I didn't use a lot of other different colors. So what I ended up doing was packing on that deep orange shade called Heat Wave on the outer corner, and then just blending it out, and then using this shade right here. Was it this one? Yep, it was using this shade on the brow bone, and then for my inner corner I ended up using this shade right here. This one's called Vacation, and then I ended up doing a glitter liner, which I have it over here, which is the Ulta Metal Maniac dual-ended eye products. I ended up using this right here, just swiping it on the inner corner. And then for the lower lash line, to smoke that out, I used this shade, just this shade alone, this one called Sand Dunes again. Now this was a really good shade to use because you can use it with a light hand and get just a pretty natural brown shade, and then you can also use that same shade to just deepen out the lower lash line, which I did right here at the very corner. So now that we're done with the face, oh yeah, sorry, I did do as well just one just the very tiniest liner on my eyes. I don't like to go in with a heavy hand of eyeliner or doing a big wing liner, just because again I have small eyes, and when I do a large winged out liner it does give that cat eye effect. But for my preferences, I rather have my eyes to look big than, you know, given that cat eye look. So I did apply some lashes, and I ended up using these Kiss Look So Natural lashes. They look like this. I ended up purchasing these from, I think, HEB. They had a sale or something like that. But I really do like them. They're really wispy and semi-natural looking. It gives, for my eyes, since they're so little, it gives the dramatic effect. So I actually do like these. Now for blush, I have had a lot of new products for blush, but to be honest, for what I want to use on my skin, well, actually I think I might use this one. Ooh, never mind, it's too shimmery. So I really do like this shade from Milani. This one's called Bellissimo Bronze, but it's too shimmery to use right now, but it is a really pretty color. So actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mix this. Let's see if I can find. So I'm gonna mix this Milani, which is a new one. I don't own this shade. So I'm gonna use this one with Toasted Cinnamon from Burt's Bees. And this is what it looks like. So I'm gonna use just the tiniest bit of this blush from Milani. Alright, and now I know it looks a little bit too strong, but it actually really isn't. My camera settings, I really need to mess with my camera settings because that's not how my blush looks like in real life, trust me. So I really actually do like these shades, these two shades combined. Now I'm gonna go in with, let's see, I don't really contour, I just deepen up the bronze shade that I use. So for deepening up my bronzer, I'm gonna use this shade right here in this Milani palette. Now I'm still debating if I like this or not. This shade ends up coming out a little bit more on the orangey side. I haven't really used the highlighter to know if I'm gonna like it or not. I mean, it's a good affordable palette. I think it was only $9.99 or $10. And then plus, if you buy a $15 worth of drugstore products from Ulta, you get a coupon for $3.50 off. So you can always lower your out-of-pocket expense from Ulta. But I don't know. I'm still debating on what I'm gonna do with this palette, if I like it or not. All right, now for my favorite part, highlighter. With highlighter, I have so many options because I like buying highlighters. All right, so for highlighter, I'm gonna try out this Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. Now, let's see. Ooh, okay. Let me show you. So, that is how pigmented these Flower Beauty highlighter shades are. And I didn't even go in with a heavy hand to swatch it. So we're gonna try that out. And I think I'm going to go for, these things are buttery creamy. So I'm actually gonna go in with this shade right here. But it doesn't have a shade. So it's just the, yeah, that shade right there. Oh yeah, and then I'm also using this Anastasia 823 highlighting brush. if you are not on a budget, I definitely suggest this brush. I feel like it's because how it's dense, slightly densely packed, that it just applies highlighter so beautifully on the skin. Like any highlighter that I use, like I feel like the highlighters that used to accentuate my textures, I start using this brush and it just makes it apply so much smoother. I don't know what it is, but I really like this brush. At first I was like, okay, for one, why am I buying I think this was $25, a $25 brush, when I'm happily with my $4 Wet n Wild brush? No, not until I used it. I used it and I was like, ooh, my life has been changed. So I did go a little bit heavy on the highlighter, but it's all right. Not going anywhere. So now that I have that done, for setting powder, let me just try to blend out my blush a little bit more. I swear guys, it does not look as bright as my camera is making it look like, but that's as good as it's gonna get. For lips, I actually do have a lot of options, but I'm just gonna go in with like a nude lip. Now this is the lip liner I got from one of my Sephora boxes. This is Sephora lip liner in the color Paris, I guess, or actually 02 Nothing But Nude. So that's what it looks like. That's really creamy actually. So I really like how that feels. Now for the center of the lips, I'm actually gonna go in with this lipstick from Marc Jacobs in the color Screen Test, which is just a nude color. Just like that. I'm actually gonna add this Laura Mercier gloss in the color Bare Pink. Just blend it out a little bit more together. And then for setting spray, I do have quite a few new ones, but there's just no point in me using one since I'm not going anywhere. But I'm just gonna use it. This is the Milani Make It Last Matte Setting Spray. I actually ended up picking this one up too at the same time as that Milani matte powder. So it has a perfumey scent. The spray is not as light. I mean, it's a heavy spray. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but it's not like a spritz. It's like a full-on like heavy spray. I'm not sure if I like that, but if it actually makes my makeup last, then hey, I'm not mad at it. So let me just fix my little hair just a little bit for you guys so we can do an up close of my look. That's about as good as it's gonna get. So this is my finished look. I really like how the eye came out. I really actually did like those Precision Formula palettes. Now again, I did purchase these from Ulta for $16.99. I would say that you do have to be careful with these shades. What are they calling these? Well, they're not calling them anything specific. It's just calling them a shimmer. Some of that fallout did come out, and I feel like it's because they should have pressed them just a little bit more, you know, sturdier, but I'm not mad at them. $16.99 drugstore. I mean, I did love the look it came out actually, so yeah, I give them 2 thumbs up actually. Now for everything else, of course, I have very oily skin, so in order for me to find out if I'm actually gonna like it, I have to wear it throughout the day. But so far it does look good. It doesn't look drying. You can see, of course, the texture of my pimples, but you can't see like dry skin, or it doesn't look patchy or cakey. So if you are wanting to try out a matte foundation but you have dry skin, or you have little flakes of you know, skin coming off, then I do recommend this one, because it didn't accentuate that issue going on right now with my skin. And everything else, I mean, no creasing going on, nothing. I do want to retry this. Well, I'm not sure, because I mean, under my eyes do look a little bit dry, so I know for sure I'm not going to try this out again as a under eye setting powder. So I'll just do it as an all over setting my face, because so far it looks really good. So I mean, I'm not mad at how the product's applied, just gotta find out if they actually work or not. So I do thank y'all for joining me today. Let me know down below if y'all have tried out any of these products and how you feel about them, and let me know what kind of video you want to see next. Thank you again for joining me, and we'll see you on the next one.